You know who I think is sleeper broken? Brewmaster. This is Samsam, top 200 Immortal player. Lovely little face. Has his own Wikipedia page. Is a tier 3 pro player. He beat my ass in the NADPC Open Quals, number 2, top 8. Samsam here. Victor, that's me. Top 8, he 2-0'd me. And he's been spamming Brewmaster in his pubs. I counted up the wins and losses. He's currently 20 wins, 6 losses, so that's a 77% win rate. And we're going to go into why this hero is so good and how it's being played. The item and skill build, super straightforward. It's literally the same shit every single game. This is the item build. You should follow it. If you're dying after you get ags, buy a defensive item. Else, rush the refresher. This is the skill build. You should follow it. So why does it work? Why is this so good? For those who are unaware, your ags gives you 2 charges of your ultimate ability, and the ult cooldown remains the same, so 120 seconds, but the entire duration of it, your ult is ticking down. So if you use 2 splits in quick succession, I'm not going to make us wait the full 40 seconds, but if you use both, you'll see that the timer has been ticking down the whole time. So if you use 2 full ultis, you only have 80 seconds until the next one comes up. And the way Refresher Orb works, it refreshes charge-based abilities to the max charge. What this means is that after you get Refresher, you have a 37.5% uptime on your ulti, which is fucking insane. This assumes level 3 ulti, so level 18. And the longest downtime you ever have is 80 seconds between ultimate usages. So with that, you have lots of ults, and, well, you might ask, why does this matter? Who cares if you have a lot of ults, right? If the ult's not that great. Well, it's fucking insane, because you're getting full HP on all the Brewlings every single time you're doing it. So your effective HP is now insanely high. And even with a relatively late ags timing, you can basically win like every fucking team fight with 2 splits, 3 splits, 4 splits sometimes, and you're able to isolate and kill the enemy carry. Of course, this requires some level of micro skill and coordination, but it is what it is. And we're going to go look a little bit into the specifics of how this is done and some other tips and tricks. All right, tip number 1 and the most important thing. Urn of Shadows activates your Cinder Brew. So this, you don't do any damage. It only slows when you cast a spell, unless you do some spell damage. The most obvious one is using Thunderclap. However, Urn still works. So we see this, Urn. This guy's gonna take a metric shit ton of damage. The great part is this is a pretty great cast range, as is Urn. So you don't even have to be in the middle of the fight, and you see this. This is like 400 400 damage. Great stuff. Second tip is that regardless of when you activate the Cinder Brew, the total damage done is always the same. The duration also will go up by 3 seconds regardless of when you activate it. We can see this here. So if I cast Cinder Brew on both of them, I cast Urn on one. We wait until this gets pretty low, and then we cast Urn on the other one. At the end, they're going to take the same amount of damage. There'll be a slight difference on how long because there's a Urn ticking down, but we see here, again, slight difference because of how much time you're spending regenning up from the damage, but the amount of damage they take from the Cinder Brew is exactly the same, regardless of if you proc it instantly or not. So it means you don't have to be like a super big hurry, because you have a 6.5 second window to either earn someone or get on top of them to use Thunderclap. So this third tip's a little bit difficult to pull off, but when you split, the Storm Panda has this Windwalk ability where you do bonus damage when coming out of invisibility. Now, similar to some other skills like Janata, or is it Shadowwalk, and Shadowblade, you can get this damage to proc twice if you hit during the fade time, and then hit again coming out of it. So if we pause here, we can check the combat log, and we can see that we're getting this bonus damage on each of the invis hits. And we know this is, I know there's some variance in damage here, but if we go back into the game, refresh and ult, it's like 140 damage, right? This base damage is 30 here, and you know, you see there's a 10 damage variance there. So if I was just auto attacking normally, it's 10 damage. What I do from invis is 135, then 115. So that's very important because you only get a couple of shadow walks. If we refresh, we can see level 1 ults. If we do it instantly, I fucked that up. But let's see how many shadow walks can you do. It's once, twice, and 3 times. So in theory, your Wind Panda alone can give 3 Wind Walks, so that's 6 hits of 140 damage. That is what? 840 magic damage just from the auto attacks? Plus the autos that they're actually doing, plus the DOT that the Fire Panda is doing. So you should definitely not underestimate the amount of damage that Brewmaster can put out with Primal Split, especially if you're being very careful with microing and making sure you get that double Wind Walk hit. Tip number 4, microing on this hero. This can be really intimidating because you see like, oh no, there's 3 pandas or whatever. What I do is I have auto attack on, so you saw the Fire Panda already ran to just start hitting. When you split, you start on the Earth Panda always, so I just spam Q as soon as I come out of it just to get the stun out. There's also bonus damage that you want to keep track of. And then for control groups, I do 3. So I have 1 to select my hero. The select your hero hotkey will automatically be the hotkey that controls all the pandas. So this is 1. Then 2 I have for just the Wind Panda, because as we showed earlier, we want to make sure we get these Wind Walks off, that we're microing and getting tornadoes off, and the spells and all that shit. And then I have 3 to control the last 2, because yeah, these are kind of important, but what I realistically do is I split, I go invis, I hit 3, I throw a boulder, and then I just micro this guy. I just have these guys on auto attack and not worry about it. Most of the damage Fire Panda does anyways is just from being close to them. So you just auto them, select back occasionally to hurl a boulder, and then spend most of your time worrying about what is my Wind Panda doing. So I can just do a hit, boop. You want to like throw up a support if they're there. You can wait for the stun to come off cooldown, spell them, stun, Wind Walk, and not do the trick that I just talked about earlier, but you get the idea. This, coupled, if you had done the Cinder Brew first, like you easily do over 1,000 damage. Like you can kill basically any hero in the game once you hit level 6. It's very, very strong. It'll definitely take some practice, but if you set up control groups and you spend some time in just like a lobby practicing being like, all right, stun, invis, hit, maybe we summon a second enemy to throw up in the air, so we practice microing that as well. I promise it won't be that hard. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and you can find a link to my Twitch channel down in the description box below, where I stream weekdays. You can find the exact schedule there, and there you can also use a bunch of my cute little emotes if you subscribe on Twitch. Thanks. So here we have a game where Samsam played on Radiant. This is a pretty quick win, 30 minutes. That's the majority of his games. From the beginning, level 1, honestly, he doesn't do anything special. He puts an extra focus, an extra emphasis on auto-attacking the creep waves. He gets a range creep died, unfortunately. But you see, he's like almost constantly auto-attacking, just so they have a creep advantage. Because this hero fucking sucks at level 1, honestly. Even level 2. This hero does not do much at all until you get level 6. So this is like the fanciest thing you actually see him do at all for the beginning portion of the game. So as we get a little bit further into the game, it's now 9 minutes. We see he's bottom net worth, or bottom CS out of all the cores, bottom net worth by a pretty significant margin as well. And this is like super fucking common. Like almost in all of his games, he's the lowest net worth core by a significant margin, but he still wins like fucking no problem. It's honestly just magic. But he's done nothing. He's barely gotten CS. He's died twice in lane. Like this looks like shit, right? But we still see him having an insane game impact and still winning the game. So around this time, it's gone on, whatever. But the only thing he's thought about this entire time, this Luna's level 8, he's only level 5, but he's so close to level 6, and this is the only thing, let me tell you, the only fucking thing that matters. The Spearburger dies in this little engagement, so he has Urn charges. As we talked about during the tips and tricks, you actually can activate your Cinder Brew with Urn. So he Urns first, Cinder Brews in Fog. Literally, within like 10 seconds of him hitting level 6, he's ulting. This is him almost every game. As we talked about, he goes Invis. Unfortunately, he doesn't get the double invis hit with a Wind Panda, but it doesn't fucking matter. The Urn charge, the Cinder Brew, the Fire Panda on top of him, just right-clicking the entire time. All this is enough to net him a kill at level 6. So, again, this is a very ult-centric character, and this is what we care about the most. We'll see for the next while, the next 2 minutes, he doesn't really do much. He like just walks around a little bit. But he's mainly focused on just like shoving lanes where he can. Even with just a support showing, he's still pretty afraid. and the only thing we care about is him getting to his next ult. So I'm going to skip ahead a bit. So a consistent theme here is that whenever his ult's off cooldown, he wants to go run at the enemy and take dangerous fights in dangerous parts of the map. So, you see, he's Radiant. Usually this bottom lane is considered the dead lane, and you don't want to play this area. But as the offlaner, I think you have to. And his ult's off cooldown, and again, as we talked about in the tips and tricks, you have a really high effective HP. Because yeah, you have this 1500 HP, because you have a 3.7 strength gain, which is definitely higher than average. But also you get all the HP that you get from Primal Split. So, they see the Luna, and he just immediately runs at her. Splits early to make sure it doesn't get cancelled, throws one hero up, and then ignores the rest. The only thing that matters right now is him getting on top of this Luna. And you see, like, no one else is contributing to this kill. This is a 1200 HP Luna, who's no longer highest net worth, but gets basically solo killed by Brewmaster. And that's what you want to be doing. We can look at that one more time. Runs into the dangerous parts of the map, sees the Luna, gets Brew off from a distance, the Cinder Brew off from distance, and then just stuns and runs and auto attacks. Making sure to use Wind Walk to get the bonus damage. He doesn't get the double hit there, but it doesn't matter. It's still enough to get a kill. Alright, now we're going to skip ahead to when his ult's off cooldown again. This is at 15 minutes. So now, even though he had a pretty poor laning stage, they're looking pretty well overall. Even now though, you see he's bottom out of all the cores. But his ult is coming off cooldown, so he's like, alright, time to fight again. Time to go to the dangerous parts of the map and force a fight on their carry. So, RP goes off, whatever. Oh, I remember this fight. Okay. Fight does not go the way we want. 3 people die instantly. He's like, well, shit. I had a plan. I want to do something. This is a quick mini tip. If you can, you just press QW to clear most of the wave. Yeah, you won't get as much CS, but it means you expose yourself in lane for much longer, or for much less time. Here, he's 4 heroes. He's forced to ult, tries to run away, tries to do his best. And you know what? That's Dota. Sometimes things don't go according to plan. That's okay. But the idea was there, right? He ran towards them when his ult was off cooldown. Unfortunately, he uses ult, he dies, nothing happens. Whatever. Doesn't matter. His ult's off cooldown, we go again in 2 minutes. So let's skip ahead 2 minutes. So now he's getting incredibly close to Aghanims. Even now you see that he's bottom net worth out of all the cores again. He's playing the dead lane, which is kind of where he wants to be because he's really tanky. But dead lane is called that for a reason. He gets gone on, he gets killed. So not long, he died in the top area, he respawned, he walked bot, died again, he's so close to Ags. And honestly, at this point, you might look and be like, wow, this game looks shit. Like, every single one of the cores is behind the respective core on the enemy team. They don't have any fucking... They have this one fucking ward in the middle of nowhere. They're 3,000 gold behind, 6 kills behind. And they're versus a Luna, who's just gonna, like, accelerate farm. Like, a lot of people look at this part and be like, wow, this game fucking sucks. Like, this game's so hard. Like, there's no chance we can win. This is fucking bullshit. But you know what? They win this game. The throne explodes in the next 11 minutes for the side of Radiant. And I think that's fucking amazing. And that's all... Well, it's not all. It's largely behind this crazy power spikes that you get with Ag's Brewmaster. So we're going to skip ahead to 21 minutes when he actually gets the Ags. Again, at this point, they're still behind. It's still a 3k net worth deficit. But this, him finishing his Aghanims, this is a net worth swing that they need. This is where things go into their favor. So, again, we're trying to force a fight. They have decent vision. They see them there. We see how he engages into this. He basically just, like, walks at people at this point. Because he knows 2 ults is enough to win most fights, as long as he gets his spells off. And honestly, even though he has no defensive items, this gives a lot of effective HP. So it's very difficult for him to just, like, die without being able to press R. And just be, like, silenced or stunned the entire duration. So this is all about the team fight disruption. Gets clarity, shoves wave. Alright, here, fight starts. It looks a little sketchy, right? He gets gone out, his entire enemy team, but they don't have instant stun. Even if they did, this is 2,000 HP, 15 armor they have to get through. So he gets his ult off here. And we'll see how he fights this. So he puts the initiator up in the air. This gives, he knows he has 2 splits. So even if he gets only 1 kill with his ultimate, this is perfectly fine. The Wind Panda already died. Quick stun into follow-up. This also gives a lot of time for your teammates to catch up to you. Second ult goes off. Again, his teammates are here. He can just throw up one hero and just go chase other ones. They're all delta splitting. He uses Wind Panda further forward. Try to find someone. Boom, isolates the carry. The Witch Doctor was trying to run away. Gets fucking sniped. And boom. Like, just like that. It's like that fucking easy. You ult twice. You're super tanky. You're not dying. You can pick off and just like set up for your allies to show up and get kills. And just like that, that's 4 heroes dead. And like, yeah, now he's slightly higher net worth than the Magnus. So like, imagine you get this like even earlier timer on the Ags. Like, this shit's absolutely fucking insane. And you're gonna see this fucking like formulaic notion of where you go, you fight with 2 ults, and you take a tower, and you just fucking rinse and repeat. So now both of his ults are on cooldown, so he's like, fuck this. I believe he goes bottom. Might have been a different replay. I watched a bunch of these replays in order to make this video. Again, he doesn't have his ulti, so if he can farm. Alright, we're gonna skip forward a little bit to when his ults are off cooldown again. Alright, again, his ult. So, I think I know, at this level, like, the timing's fucking everything. Like, these guys are so fucking good. Like, his second ult charge isn't off cooldown yet, but he doesn't care, because, like, even if he fights right this instant, the duration of the first primal split will allow for the second primal split to come off cooldown. So, they know their power spike, they know they have 2 ult charges, so he just runs in. Again, he has a big AoE from the level 10 talent, so he doesn't have to get that close, and then prioritizes getting the ult off. He gets RP'd. Again, this is dubious, you feel, but you have so much HP between all the Brewlings, so you don't really care. And just by existing, even though he's stunned, he's still doing damage. Of course, this is in part because the TA is quite farmed, but doesn't matter. Throw a stun, get another kill. I think he can dispel Ghost Form if he wanted. He does that, gets another kill. And just like, again, they got initiated on, they got RP'd, but like, he doesn't care. Like, he's so tanky. And just like that, they win a team fight, go for tower. This is fucking rinse and repeat, as I said earlier. Okay, so they get Seracs, cool. And then, again, team fight, get a tower, pushes the lane real quick, and then your shit's on cooldown, you don't want to fight immediately, so he's gonna TV bottom, he's gonna reset lanes. But then again, he sees his ult's coming off cooldown, they want to group up, and they want to fight again. So, group together, they smoke on a couple, they want to fight. They know they're strong still, with double primal split. So here, he's really far forward. Again, he postures so aggressively because he knows how tanky he is. You got another pick over there. And here, he's standing next to his drow, and disaster! He gets RP'd next to his pause 1 hero. The enemy Luna, their pause 1 hero, comes up, gets a BKB off, is able to auto-attack. But there's literally no way in fucking hell that they kill Brewmaster in this time. Like, again, 17 armor, 2.4k HP. The entire duration of a RP, he's not gonna die. I mean, it helps that Luna's not a huge, like, single target hero or whatever. And there are cases where you might die, in which case you get Aeon or BKB. But in like, games like this, like, you don't need any other items. Because like, no matter what, you're gonna get your fucking ult off. Luna has a TP out, you know, this is a botched initiation, like, this guy can't die, and like, that's it. That's actually just fucking it. That's it, the game's just over. And do you know what's like actually like super crazy in all this? Again, they were like pretty decently far behind. And in this entire time, if you look at his items, he's rushing a refresh orb, he doesn't have it. This guy has a same like effective net worth. The only difference is being he's higher level, right? So he has the better ulti. But his net worth, his effective net worth, like, cool, he has some regen. Like, this doesn't actually help in fights or anything. He has the same net worth as he did 8 minutes ago. Dude, like, 21 minutes? Was it 21 minutes or 19 or some shit? I got Aghanims? Yeah, so it's right here that he finished the last component of his Ags. 19 minutes. He's 6k net worth. He's essentially 6k net worth throughout the entire game. Like, he basically has the same net worth as all the enemy supports. Like, he has so little net worth, but this hero is just like so insane if you just get Aghanims and just able to use your ultimates. Because like other items might give like HP or whatever, but like this hero, if you go into Brew Split, like 3,200 HP on this guy, 1,600 HP, 2,000 HP, all the fucking utility you bring to the table as well. So this is not even with level 20 talent where he has plus 1,400 Brewling health. It's just absolutely fucking insane. It's so fucking good. Like literally, like you need no items. You get Ags, you can just like straight up win the game. Now, admittedly, in between one of the time specs, they snuck a Roshan. Maybe you think, oh, this Ags fight where they killed 4, maybe it's just luck, you know? Maybe it's just a fluke. Maybe it's just a coincidence. Well, all right. I don't think a 77% win rate says coincidence, says, you know, luck of the draw, whatever, but we'll take a look at another game. This time we're gonna look from the side of Dire, see if it looks too different. I don't believe so. And because we were watching a little bit more in detail for the first one, this will be less detailed. It is what it is. So, item build, same exact thing. Same thing every game. Do I agree that he should go the same build every game? Not really, but it doesn't matter. And we don't really care laning, because again, nothing happens until you get your ults. So, we're slightly past laning stage. Look at net worth. This game is a fucking disaster. 8 minutes in, they're 5,000 net worth behind. The enemy fucking offlaner is the same net worth as your pause 1 and pause 2 combined. They've lost this top 1 tower. The bottom's awful. He's fed 1 kill already. He has 19 CS. He's literally less farm than the enemy pause 4. Like, this game looks like shit, right? But you know what? This hero, you don't win lane, and that's perfectly fine. But we're gonna see just like how fucking important timings are and playing around them. So we see blah blah. We're just keeping an eye on his EXP down here. Now this is crazy. Just shove this. Gets level 6 at 834. Boom! Instant TP. Instant fucking TP. Cinder Brew. You know we have a 6.5 second duration to put any damage. And he just ults and just kills the enemy carry. This is a game where you're 6,000 gold behind. And he's just like, oh, no cares. Easy game, easy life. Easy follow-up stun, easy double kill. Just like that. And that's all that matters. All that matters is like knowing your item timings, knowing your skill timings. So this hero, it's earn plus primal split. And just playing around that incredibly aggressively when you know you're so fucking strong. So this game, you hasn't been able to fight around his ult as much. Again, this game's still looking like a disaster. Cool, he got a double kill, but like they're so far behind. We talked a little bit about this, and I think it's tip number 2 in the earn plus Cinder Brew combination. And we see that here. Like, he's able to play really far outside of the fight because he doesn't bring that much to the table without primal split. But this is still 300 damage plus, this is what, 200 damage or something? 25 damage over times 8, so that's 200. Yeah, so it's 500 magical damage that it contributes every 10 seconds-ish from a pretty big distance. So that's what you want to do, because you don't want to be in the thick of it. And especially because you skip Drunken Brawler, you're not that tanky to physical damage or anything. Again, this fight still not great. Pretty sure he dies at the end of this. Maybe not. Got a half decent fight, but you see how much more difficult the fights are when they don't have royalty. So fight recap, he got a double kill, and we see he did 1,700 damage, second most on his team, just from 4 Cinder Brews, 4 Earn Charges. Like, that's the majority of it, because like getting close enough to Thundercap is not nearly as consistent. So I think that's just a really cool thing. They smoke up right around when his ult's coming off cooldown, because again, this is his power spike. And again, just like last time, he like runs into like their triangle area, like really fucking dangerous parts of the map. Like, this kind of shit like can be game losing, but they have wards down, and 2, he knows he has his ult. He knows he's pretty tanky. So earn W, ults early, so it can't be cancelled. Like, he doesn't give a shit about this extra little thunderclap damage. And boom, just ults, gets a kill. Like, this is kind of similar to how you play like a Enigma, where you can just like hard focus the enemy carry. So even though he has like shit net worth, like, he's able to slow down like the hero that matters. Like, you can argue that Axe might be a higher value target, but still pretty value. This is when he gets his Aghanims. One thing of notes here is that when you get Ags, you instantly get another ult charge. So that's kind of useful. I've tried messing around to see if there's any way you can abuse that with like disassemble or dropping the Ags and picking it up to get extra charge, but wasn't able to find anything like that. And it would probably be a bug anyways, but yeah, whatever. So 7 minutes, he has his Ags. So first thing he does, he wants to run to dangerous lanes. He wants to take fights near towers so he can translate these kills into objectives. So again, ult once. You don't have to pretend this is like a huge teamfight ulti. Like if you're just using your ult to get a single kill, that's fine. Because like you're such low cooldown on this. You just want to use it constantly. So again, kill a hero, get a tower. He has another ult charge, so wants to fight again. Fuck off. In the middle of something. Again, similar to me, you see that he uses his Earth and Fire Panda together and then sends his micros his Wind Panda just to get additional picks. And this is so good. Like you're able to pick off like these one-off targets, especially with the Wind Walk. So fucking good. And again, win a fight, take a tower. Rinse and repeat. So I don't want to show too much of the specifics this time. I do want to show something different because in this replay he actually gets to the refresher orb. Now this is further down the line. This is 27 minutes. So he gets refresher. He has one ult charge coming off cooldown. State of the game, it's much closer now. They finally like clawed their way back. But even then, he's bottom net worth out of all the cores once again. But again, doesn't matter. They're just gonna run at heroes and cast ults and win the fucking game. So yeah, he finishes refresher. He wants to go run at them, wants to force a fight. He has one ult charge. You don't need the full 4 to like win fights. Like even 2 was enough to win fights. So running at them, they finally find an opportunity. They get the Lina. He ults early. Trying to get another kill. Chrono. Yay, yay, yay. Another team fight looking pretty great. Also, good thing to note is that once you have Aghanims, you can teleport into any of the Brewlings. So now your ult's off cooldown, but you have refresher. And now's the interesting part. Like you haven't bought any defensive items, right? And you might think, oh, this might be a little bit concerning. And we're gonna see here him getting silenced in a second. So again, they're sticking around trying to look for a fight. He gets silenced. And you might be a little bit concerned here. He's like, oh no, you don't have BKB, you don't have Aeon Disc, you don't have Yules, you know, nothing like that. But it doesn't matter. Just buying these items, you have so much effective HP. Like this Drow is auto-attacking the full time. This Drow who is 5,000 net worth ahead of the Brewmaster. But it doesn't matter. He refreshes, because you don't need to hold on to this. Like refresher is so nice. Because it's such low cooldown, considering that, like it's 160 seconds, right? But for 40 seconds, you're going to be using the split. So it's effectively only a 2-minute cooldown. Like it's fucking insane, actually. So just ults, and they just get a free kill. Kill one Drow, set up this BKB fucking immune hero with the stun. Just so fucking strong. Throw the axe up in the air. And like, it's just GG at this point. Like you can't win fights into this shit. And now, he used the split, he used refresher, and even then, 80 seconds, and he has another ult charge. Like, it's such a small window where the enemy team can, like, try to go on you and try to get you killed. It's fucking insane. So wait, he plays a little bit extra defensive because he has no ults, but now he has one ult charge, and at this point, they can just go. Because, like, again, this is 20-second duration. Even though it's 30-second cooldown on refresher orb, your refresher is basically up. You basically have 3 ults already at this point. And because the refresher orb is 160 seconds total, and getting to ult charges is 240 seconds, you actually just use refresher constantly, if you can. Because it's shorter cooldown to get your ult charges back if you just refresh. So again, they know they're strong, so they just walk at them. They go into dangerous parts of the map. He gets called, he gets disabled. It doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter, because he's always going to get his fucking ult off. And again, how do you just deal with these pandas? Now he's level 22. Like, let's look at the HP of these units. 4,600 HP, permanent BKB Earth Panda. This 3,000 HP Fire Panda that's doing 75 DPS. The Wind Pandas now, the bonus damage is 260. Like, it's fucking insane. Like, I don't know how you deal with this. Like, in theory, you're just like, oh, just kill him. But, and here we see he just refreshes instantly, just so he has his ult charges. And lets the refresher orb start going off CD. And look, again, he just ults super early. Like, they can't go close. They can just run at them. Like, what do you do? Unit things get a little spooky. There's a lot of AoE damage he's doing. He's going to focus supports if possible. The main thing, though, is just, like, setting up near enemy heroes and just stunning constantly. Just so much damage. It's just so much HP. Like, yeah, I don't know. I'm just like saying the same thing over and over again. It's so fucking good. And voila. And again, we have this like, 80-second window where until he has one ult, and that one ult's gonna lead into him having his refresher orb up again. So 80 seconds is all the enemy has to like try to win a fight. So you like use one ult. Yeah. Whatever. Fight happens. The 16k net worth ahead. And again, he doesn't bother waiting for primal split. Whenever refresher's off cooldown, he just uses it. He just uses it instantly. That is basically it for me looking at the replays.